Now for the bonus film. If you like The Searchers, then I think you'll like The Big Gundown from 1966. Lee Van Cleef plays a bounty hunter who's given a new task: hunt down a man, played by Thomas Milan, who's accused of raping and murdering a young girl. The catch is that Milan is a crafty man, who just might be Van Cleef's match. Now, it's a battle of wits to see who can outsmart who in the end and get what they desire. As some of you might have guessed, this is a spaghetti western. Classic Hollywood westerns and spaghetti westerns differ dramatically at this point in history, so people tend to lean towards one or the other. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of classic Hollywood westerns because I grew up with so many of them, but The Big Gundown is easily one of my favorite westerns of all time. The two leads are incredible. Van Cleef is a great protagonist, but he can be very cruel too. In the opening scene, he mercilessly guns down three men in an almost villain-like fashion, but he has other attributes that make us want to follow him. There's an unspoken nobility that Van Cleef brings to this role, which is seldom seen in bounty hunters of this type. It makes us root for him, but when he gets outsmarted by Milan a few too many times, we see his persona start to crumble, and it makes us wonder what he's willing to do in order to catch his prize. Milan brings a smart aleck cockiness that's so fun to watch. He's a simple man, but very diabolical. I love the scenes where he doesn't talk, but you can just see the wheels turning in his head. Oh, and his smile. Look at that. It's so devious. Even though he's running for his life, he gets a kick out of outsmarting Lee Van Cleef and all the other side characters. They almost have this camaraderie that comes out when they have dialogue scenes together, and as much as I love it when they're duking it out, I like it more when they're just talking to each other. It brings to mind other classic Hollywood westerns like 3:10 to Yuma and The Naked Spur. These are films where the razor-sharp dialogue between the outlaw and gunman is just as thrilling as any shootout. Speaking of shootouts, there's quite a few in here, and being a spaghetti western, all of them are shot beautifully. The way they're framed in the widescreen format is a feast to the eye. They seem so dynamic, whereas most spaghetti westerns I've seen, the frames feel more flat and frontal. Not only that, but the violence in this film is pretty gritty. When someone gets shot, not only do you see some of the carnage, but they stagger and plummet. It makes it stand out compared to other spaghetti westerns like, say, Once Upon a Time in the West. I love that movie, but when you see people get shot, they usually do this energetic spin, and you don't see the wound. This change in The Big Gundown makes you realize how harsh the world they inhabit is. The widescreen also makes the landscapes come to life. You can take any frame from this film and place it on your wall. Oh, and I can't forget about the score. It was done by Ennio Moricone and is easily one of my favorite western scores of his. I hate that I can't play any of it, but go look it up for yourself when you get the chance. This is also one of the smartest screenplays for a western I've ever seen. Usually in stories like these where someone is hunting an outlaw, they catch the outlaw does something that's obviously a ploy to get away, and then they get away. This film does not do that. Anytime someone falls for Milan's trap, you understand why they do, because they're such smart ideas. There's not one time where you roll your eyes at the events that transpire. Both Van Cleef and Milan are very smart gunslingers. It's so entertaining to see two intelligent people outsmart each other and the audience. So, if you like The Searchers, I think you'll like The Big Gundown for its complex characters, its powerfully dark scenes, epic landscape shots, and incredible score.